Welcome again to the Paranormal Zone. I'm your co-host, Tom Spitalere. Bob is out tonight on an investigation. So we got a very interesting night planned for you guys. And wow, can you believe it? Halloween is right around the corner. And we have a big event coming up this weekend. The last event at Haunted Hilldale Cemetery for the year, because it's getting a little cold out now. So that'll be Saturday night, 7 o'clock. We'll be done by about 9:30 maybe, unless it's a busy night. We might be there a little later. But that is our big event coming up tonight. For today, we actually have another paranormal group here from right in the area, too, not too far down the road from haunted Lawrence, Massachusetts, in another haunted community of Peabody, Massachusetts. So let's welcome the Deadtime Paranormal Society, all the way from Peabody. Welcome, guys and ladies.
Thanks for having us.
No problem. So Stanley's with us. He's one of the co-founders of the team. And we have
Robert Petrelis.
Yeah.
Raquel.
And we got somebody joining us all the way from, I can't forget this town, because this was a town that was so beat up and destroyed that it took the settlers another 20 years after the French Indian War to resettle. From Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Introduce yourself, sir.
Hi, I'm Shane.
All the way from haunted Pawtucket, Rhode Island. So welcome,
That's
everybody.
Thanks for having us.
No problem. We enjoy you guys. I always enjoy this. So anyone of you guys can answer this question. So how long you been doing this in the paranormal?
As a team, probably 6 years.
Oh, wow. That's a long time. How about you personally?
I've been into it since I was a kid. I had an experience when I was a little one, and ever since then I've been hooked. But
oh, wow.
As I got older, I wanted to, dive into it a little more and come up with some answers and see what it was all about and get some answers.
Oh, that makes sense, because I think all of us, as we get into this tonight, probably had that. Yeah, now it's your turn. You are the team psychic. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So how long you been? Well, you've probably been doing this all your life too, right?
Yeah, all my life, basically since I've been born, I would say. Yeah.
All right. So you all, what part of you? How old were you roughly when you realized you had these abilities?
When I accepted that I had these abilities, probably in my late teens. But I had so many experiences that led up to that when I didn't realize what I know now, it brought me to the paranormal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Tech Guy, just state your name, too.
So my name is Rob, and I've been doing this since 2008 by myself, and then obviously I went with a couple different teams. And what made me get into this was actually I had a crazy experience when I was 8 years old. I actually seen an apparition. Well, I woke up at around 7 in the morning. It was a lady right in front of me and asked me where my mother was. She was blonde with the dress, with the briefcase. I went to go get my mother, and when I came back, basically she's gone. My mother actually called the police, thought someone broke into the house because I was 8 years old, and she was gone. The doors were locked from the inside out.
Oh, wow. How about you, Shane? How long you been doing this for?
So I'm going to kind of piggyback off Robbie there. So I've been kind of on my own, kind of being the lone wolf. I'm originally from Florida, so paranormal teams aren't as popular down there as per se up here in the New England area. So I just kind of did all the researching and the reading, and kind of just going off my own, kind of doing the exploring, just kind of take it in from there. And then I moved up here, kind of worked with a little bit of, couple of paranormal groups, small groups, not too big. And then just kind of went from that direction. And then I met Stan. And it's been the best ever since I've met these guys. We mesh well and we work well together. So I'm happy to be part of the team for sure.
Well, that's what's important. So did you have an experience to get you into the paranormal, or was it?
There's all kind of there's all kind of crazy experiences in Florida, whether it's from your normal weird person walking down the side of the road in Florida to just, we have some creepy stories down in Florida of, the swamp ape and things like that. Just being alone in Florida at night is kind of creepy. So, tracking along in the swamps and you got alligator eyes looking at you and everything. But, I haven't really experienced any. So the only thing I really haven't experienced unexplainable is probably shadow figures. I haven't seen any shadow figures, but I'm hoping to see them one day. So we just got to keep researching and doing our due diligence.
Right. So you're probably seeing skunk apes, or what we call Bigfoots up here.
I know I haven't seen a skunk ape, but I probably it was fake. But I walked into a restaurant down in Florida off the side of the road, and they said it's real, but I doubt it. It was a life-size figure of a skunk ape that they caught back in the 70s. But I believe that. I don't believe it was real. I've been there ever since I was a kid, but I mean, it's kind of made me question and wonder. So you never know.
Yeah, no, there was a store in Salisbury Beach up here that actually had a sea monster drugstore.
Wow.
It's not your big drugstores. This was a mom and pop drugstore up until the 80s. I was researching sea monsters. I was doing to do a talk, and I found that interesting. So, it can happen. Now, Stanley, you said you had an experience when you were a kid. So, so what was your experience?
I was probably around 10, 11, 12 years old, and we lived in an old house in Malden. And me and my brother was like 7 years older than me, and we went to bed. And there was an old house. They had these old-fashioned, you probably remember them, the old glass doorknobs.
Oh, yeah, I remember
They were hard to turn and real noisy. Well, it was wintertime, and we're laying in bed, went to bed, and all of a sudden you heard the doorknob turn of the closet. Closet door opened up all the way, and I got up, and I said, And that was it.
Yeah. So in Malden, is that near a school?
Nope.
Oh,
that house was haunted. My brother told me stories about hearing footsteps going up and down these stairs up to the attic and all kinds of different things. And when I was a kid, I didn't want to hear it.
Yeah, I think it was my third or fourth year as a paranormal investigator with you. I got a call down to go to Malden.
Oh, yeah.
And it was an old house, 1800s, an old school. That's all I'm going to, because we don't want to
I got you. I got you. Sure.
So that's why I asked you if it was there an old school.
No.
That's funny because actually, my first was at the in Malden too.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, my first experience was in Malden too when I was younger.
Must be a Malden thing.
Yeah.
Well, Malden is I know Bob and I have a mutual friend that grew up in that area. They actually, and other people that talked about, they've had some interesting things happen in that area. So, I mean, it's not a Malden thing. It's not a Peabody thing.
Nope.
It's not a Lawrence
It's all over the place.
These are old communities with a lot of heart, a lot of soul. It's not a Pawtucket thing either. That's an old community too. You got to remember that community was destroyed during the French Indian War and totally wiped out. And people were afraid to go back for 20 years before the settlers resettled it. It stayed vacant, that city.
Sure.
So, I mean, it's these old cities in New England. Hence, we are New England.
Yep.
I wouldn't give up the weather or anything in this area for anything. I got people at my job that come in where I work, and we're a regional visitor center, too. So we have people coming from all over the place, and like, oh, there's some old homes out there. Oh, where are you from? Oh, California.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing against California. They got the beaches. They got everything. But I would never turn around the beaches from California for what we have up here on the East Coast.
Right? Absolutely.
I mean, we're lucky.
People don't realize how lucky they are.
No.
I agree. I enjoy the four seasons up here. It's different. It's not 90.
Moved out of Florida. I think you got out of Florida just in time.
I think so. I might have brought. I mean, I don't know. I think the first year that I moved up here, I think that hurricane hit up here, and I want to say that it rode. I want to say that it rode me up all the way up.
So I know people who listen to our show all the time know that we, talk to paranormal and stuff. But is there any, without giving it away, because obviously we don't give things away. We're very professional in this room. We don't put clients' homes on the front pages of our Facebook pages. Other teams do that, though, but we don't do that. You guys don't do that.
No,
either.
no.
So, is there a case you could talk about without giving it away that was a very interesting case?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a case probably during the summer,
Mhm.
and this guy's a well-known politician, so he's legit. And he had claims of a couple big stories that we can't debunk at all. It was he went out to the garage with his wife, and his wife got in the car, and then he was out in front of the car doing something, and the snow brush on the shelf in front of the car, it levitated, then it rotated, and then it shot into the hood of the car,
Yeah, a dent.
and then left a dent in the hood.
Oh, wow.
How do you debunk that?
You don't.
Okay. And there's another story. He was in the shower one time. He saw, he had the shower curtain, and he had a little shower. Saw the shadow go by down below. So he
That
stuck
was
his
his dog,
He
right?
thought it was his dog. He stuck his head out because the door was closed, so it wasn't the dog. He stuck his head out of the curtain, and he looks, and the toilet seat isn't dropping; it's lifting up.
Oh.
Somebody has to go to
Somebody
the
had to
bathroom.
go.
Somebody has to go to the
I don't know
bathroom.
who it was, but it wasn't him. And he said because I screamed like a little girl, and I was out of there. And then we investigated. We got a bunch of stuff, but we're going to be going back probably in the next couple of weeks and do another one.
Well, you have to. People listening at home hear me say this all the time. What everybody does in this room, and you guys here at Deadtime, isn't what's on TV. It takes a while to go over evidence. It takes a while to draw conclusions. It's not done in an hour.
No, it's
Right.
definitely not the same thing as you see on TV.
Heck no.
Sometimes you investigate all night, and you probably only find a couple small things.
Right.
It's
you
like
know.
fishing.
Yeah.
You go fishing. Sometimes they bite. Sometimes they don't.
So I interviewed this couple from Manchester on my TV show in Havel a long time ago. They were demonologists. And what they would call it was the Dunkin' Donuts Doritos time. I mean, they weren't drinking Dunkin' Donuts coffee and eating Doritos at somebody's because these people are professional. But I mean, you sit there, you go all night. We've had cases where you go all night and nothing's happening, and then the next night they're calling you, going, "This is going," and you jump to get everybody together. You go,
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
and that can happen a lot.
You never know.
No,
You can't call it.
And it's always when you least expect it. You know, it's just like, oh man, nothing's going on. It's really quiet, and the next thing you know, it's just like I think they know like you're not paying attention or something, and then they kind of want to reach out and touch someone, if you so to speak.
yeah, no, that is correct. The bathroom thing made me chuckle. It brought back memories. This is about you guys, but I have to share this one memory.
Yeah, go for it.
Manchester, New Hampshire, in the mills. That's all I'm going to say. I can't say where. But we had the ladies' room and the men's room, bathrooms, all flush at once.
Oh, I believe that,
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that's wild.
In the office, the guy hung himself in. We got some great evidence.
Yeah, I would hope so.
And then one of the investigators goes, "There's a guy staring in at the window at us." We took a picture. We got the face.
Wow.
Well,
We went to go look.
Wow.
Well, let's go outside and look. And the guy goes, "No, you can't go out there and look because you're going to die."
Oh, that's,
Because the waterfall was right out
Oh,
the
yeah.
window.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
So there was no way that was a homeless guy,
yeah.
Right.
somebody looking in the window.
Right.
What you got was something that was paranormal.
Wow.
right, right.
Because the waterfall was right there, right on the Merrimack. And it was in March, so that water's...
A lot of times they say the water actually helps
It's a
conduit.
conduit
Yes.
to the
Really got conduit energy everywhere.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are conduits. I mean, that's what makes us feel so much interesting.
Yep.
You know, people don't realize, now you guys do, obviously. Why don't we explain, I'll let you guys explain, because this is about you guys there. Explain how important science and history is in this field.
it's a big deal because you got to make sure that you got to take all the evidence that you have from previously, and you got to just check everything that you got to check off everything too. You know what I mean? Research. Yeah, you got to do research on it. You know.
Shane's good at that. He loves research.
Oh, that's
I love
good. That's good.
Well, yeah, I think research is very, very valuable, especially before any type of investigation. Because I mean, this helps also with when we conduct, EVPs and things like that, because it helps us with questioning, and who directly, if we're directly trying to speak or reach out to someone, we kind of know a little bit behind the history of the home, maybe the things might have happened there in the past. So it does help us in a sense extremely when it comes to EVP sessions and things like that. So, yeah.
Now, that's good for you guys as investigators, but I'm watching psychics on the different hand don't want to know what's going on in the house. Is that correct?
That is correct. They never tell me what's going on before I enter a house. I don't want to know because I need to come up with my own conclusions. Yeah.
Right, and there's nothing wrong with historical research on a house.
Mm-hmm.
Let the investigators know. None of my psychics that I use want to know anything about the house.
Yeah, no, it's much better that way.
Then that way there's no preconceived notions.
Exactly, I can't have that. Yeah, I can't have that.
No, I get that. No, I was watching you going, I don't want to know that.
But on that note, I did grow up in a haunted house. In Reading.
In Reading?
Yes. And my grandparents actually built the house. My great-grandfather lived next door, and the other son lived next door there, so we were really the only ones there. But this house had so many things going on up until my brother just sold it last month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So much stuff. I didn't realize what was happening to me and my sister. We used to see the shadow figure coming in from outside. He had a big hat on, and he would come and visit us at night, and we would be terrified because he would keep coming closer and closer. My father used to run out with the shotgun thinking somebody was there. Later did I find out it was actually the Hat Man.
Hat Man, I was just thinking that.
But I had no idea about the Hat Man when I was younger.
Right.
So so many things happened in this house.
Well, North Reading is another one of those old communities. It's a Route 28, which for everybody listening who's not from the Merrimack Valley, before 495 and 93, and there were back roads, and 28 was the major road into Boston. Oh, wait a minute. 28 was also the major road to the other end of the Ossipee Triangle, too. Yeah, you used to go to the White Mountains by taking 28 north. You should try that one.
That's a scenic route.
Yes, very scenic. Yes. Yeah.
And you should try that
A
one.
long time ago.
No, try it today with the new traffic and traffic.
No.
160 lights.
No.
5 hour, 6 hour ride to get to Ossipee.
Plenty of foliage.
So yeah, so and these roads all have water next to them, under them, over them.
Same with the back, that backyard. I mean, there's so much water back there.
And these old roads were once Native American paths. So there was, and believe it or not, folks, who are listening at home, you guys may or may not know this. Before the colonists got here, the colonials, the English, us, the Native Americans were fighting and killing each other over here. So there's a lot of bloodshed on New England soil.
Then you get the witches in Salem, too.
Then you got the witches of Salem. Yes. And I know you guys traveled in from Peabody. How was the traffic going in tonight?
Coming this way, it was fine.
Oh,
that way, forget that one.
The opposite way, forget about it.
No, we don't touch that ever when it's over.
I got to take high blood pressure pills when I drive through Boston.
Yeah, me too. I don't drive through Boston well at all.
I'm kind of from the rural parts of Florida where we have Interstate 95 that goes north and south, but we also have these 2-lane country roads and stuff. And I learned how to drive up here really quick, within a matter of a week, and I couldn't tell you how many middle fingers I saw when I was up here.
Road rage is very popular around here.
Yeah. Yeah. So you grew up in one of the smaller towns in Florida, then, huh?
Yeah, I'm a suburb of Orlando. On the East Coast.
Oh, okay. So not little ways from the Okefenokee, though.
Yeah. So the Everglades, probably from where I'm from, is about 3 hours.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I mean, Florida's not that large east and west, but north and south, it's pretty super long.
I was told the middle of Florida takes about 3 hours to go from coast to coast.
Yeah, give or take, depending on traffic, stuff like that. But yeah, it's not bad.
2 time zones in Florida?
That I didn't.
No, we just had one.
Yeah, I just found that out like 2 weeks ago.
He says there's only one.
There's actually 2. All the way up to the north side, there's one part of Florida that has another.
Oh, okay. You must be talking about the Panhandle area then, like right up underneath Alabama.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But that's part of Florida.
Right.
It's Florida, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not down south. It's up
Right above Georgia.
right above Georgia.
Northwest.
Oh, interesting. That must be a trip driving in and out of there, especially if you're working.
Right.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's a trip. That is a trip. We don't have that problem up here on the East Coast. We're all in the same time zone.
Okay.
So that was an interesting case. Now, have you guys done any public events?
No, we just do commercials sometimes,
Commercial.
SK Pierce and West Salem and stuff like that. Murdoch Whitney.
No, did you get anything good on the Salem? Because I know people have done the Salem for years.
Yeah, I got a few things. One was up in the anchor room. We were sitting, 3 or 4 of us. Rob was there. We had his recorder out. We're asking questions. Is anybody with us right now? Nothing. Play it back. There's an angry old man up there. He yelled out, "I am."
He screamed.
Screamed. He had to be right next to the mic on the recorder. It was so loud. We all jumped and we played it back. It was insane. We weren't ready for that, but
No.
we thought we ever got out of him. We got out of there.
You got out of there quick, huh? Oh, that's interesting.
And there was another one where last time we went there, we were in the meeting room, and there was one of the team members was there, and she had a haunted doll, supposedly. She said it was haunted. And so we let it go with that, and we went on with our investigation. And later on, after the investigation, I was checking my recordings. And didn't I get a recording of a woman saying, "Bring the doll in"?
Oh, interesting.
I was like, okay.
What about the cabinet that opened?
Oh, yeah, we were breaking down. And I was like, oh, put
This
the
is
packet
right
up, get
before.
ready to go.
Yeah.
Cabinet door open, wide open, right next to us.
Right. Oh, that's interesting.
Now you do it.
Yeah.
Everything's put away.
Right at the end.
It's
Yeah.
always right at the end.
Oh, right at the end.
But there you go.
That's usually when the best stuff happens,
Yeah.
is right at the end. Now, okay, so we all know we're here in New England, right? There's a whole bunch of paranormal groups, and they're all good. There's plenty of them out there. So what makes you guys unique in what you do compared? We're not here to, we're not bashing teams,
No.
but everybody has their own unique strategies.
Well, we're a small team. We're 4 people right now. So we're doing residential cases. People don't want 10, 11, 12 people coming into the house, going to the house and ramp them to stuff. So.
And we also try to debunk a lot of things before we decide to do paranormal. And I'll try my hardest to debunk everything before I say yes, it's paranormal. And that is very important, I think, for paranormal.
We'll review the evidence. A couple weeks later, we'll go back and review it and show them all what we caught. And they can be the judge. We try to explain to them that is it paranormal? Can't guarantee it is, but it could be. And there's no yes or no answers.
No.
If you ask the science field out there, it's like, no, it's not real, but we've seen enough stuff out there that we know it is real.
Oh, yeah. When you've been around a long
Yeah.
time, you've seen it
Yeah,
all.
something you just can't explain.
No.
We also try to cleanse the house. If they ask us to cleanse the house, we'll cleanse the house for them. And, we'll try to help them with their haunting. If they don't want them there anymore or something like that, we'll try to do our best to remove it.
I think a lot of times it's probably a loved one who hasn't moved on and just hanging around, keeping an eye on the family, really.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think another thing.
And what do you think about the uniqueness of your team, Shane?
Well, what I like about us is whatever location that we do, regardless of whether it's residential or whether it's, a public event or whatever the case may be. What I love about our team that stands out is I think that we're very respectful about the location. especially the things that may have happened in the past or even current affairs as well as speak. But we always go in with a respectful mind. We're not going in there and trying to conjure up anything, because you're kind of playing long distance phone call with that, if you know what I mean. The biggest thing is just getting good, legitimate investigation style out of us. Because people want answers. We're there to help. If they're kind of questioning what's going on in their home, so we go in there and we try to do the best that we can to get to them answers that they need. So.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, you don't have to answer this one if you don't want to. Do you do a lot of home investigations or commercial?
Probably pretty even both.
Pretty even both.
Yeah, I'd say both.
Oh, that's good. So you're well balanced in that. So you guys cleanse out the houses when you're done if they want it.
Yep.
They ask for it.
Yeah.
Some of them don't want to cleanse out the house because they like the spirits there.
Yeah.
And they don't want anything to switch between what they have.
Right.
They don't want to make it worse.
No.
There's nothing negative.
Now, have you ever come across something negative?
Not lately. No.
I have.
Well, you
My
have.
house, but
Yeah.
Yeah, her house is.
Yeah, it was actually at the Murdoch Whitney house. I was investigating there. I don't remember what bedroom I was in. So the main frame of the house, the main front door, obviously there's a large set of staircase. There's a large staircase that you have to go up, and it kind of winds around. It was a back corner bedroom or whatever, and I was going in there and I was trying to do some EVPs or whatever. But when I walked in, obviously something did not like me when I walked in there. I could feel it. I was probably only in there, I would say, maybe 10 minutes. I put a REM pod in the middle of the bed. I was just trying to get some yes/no answers, things of that nature. I just started feeling out of sorts, and I told Stan about this, and I kind of left. I kind of became disorientated, just kind of not knowing where I was, and I didn't even close out the location. I just left. I just left out of the front door. Usually, I always tell the stairs, that they're not welcome to come back, or they're not allowed to take a ride home with me. That case, I didn't say none of those things because I was just completely out of it. So I ended up bringing whatever it was that attached itself to me. I ended up bringing it home, and for like a week and a half or so, 2 weeks, I was just not myself. I mean, it was just horrible. I was waking up every morning at like 3 a.m. in like cold sweats, and I didn't have a fever. I had a normal appetite. Just changes in my mood. I would cry at work for no reason. It was quite scary. I mean, I even walked into, I just had enough, and I walked in to get cleansed at a local little stone shop down here, and the lady told me as soon as I walked in the door that my eyes were pitch black. But long story short, she made my life a living hell for the past week and a half. But eventually everything started going away, and I started feeling better. But I believe, honestly, that something did attach itself to me at that house.
That's interesting. That is really interesting and scary too. I mean, we all hope that never happens to anybody. I'm sorry it happened to you.
Yeah, like I said, I was just so out of it, just so disorientated with what was going on around me. I mean, usually I'm just like so involved with what's going on in an investigation, and I just completely lost all focus, and I just left. And it's probably one of the reasons why, though.
Right, exactly. I mean, you left the room without closing the gap, and I mean, it can happen. If you don't close up, it can happen. So when you guys do the case, I heard you guys have a REM pod. So what else you have for equipment?
We have ghost boxes. We have REM pods, Melmeters. We have Panasonic RR-DR60 recorders, K2 meters. What else?
SLS.
Yeah.
We got a EMF tripwire.
Yep, tripwire.
We have a haunted object detector.
Yep.
A little silver pan.
Yeah.
Up to a meter, and you set the settings, and you put something on the little dish, which is attached to the meter. and if something goes near it, if a spirit approaches, put your right hand right over it, the alarm will go off on the device.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
That
alarm.
is pretty cool.
You can either set the alarm and set the lights. One or the other.
What? Well, so would you build that yourself?
No,
No.
I got it from somebody online that very reputable,
Yeah.
who builds these things, and he's pretty cool. Well, we went to the Oliver House, and I put a little shot of whiskey on there too. Thinking that somebody at the Oliver House probably want a little, little nip of whiskey, but no bites.
No bites.
No bites.
That's interesting because, so what do you do with your haunted objects?
Oh, we don't have any.
Oh, you don't have any haunted
No,
objects?
no.
Okay.
I don't want any.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Okay. All right. So what happens if you find one?
Give it to you.
Oh, that's fine too. Yeah. I have a collection of haunted objects that I've taken out of people's homes myself.
You do, really, huh?
Yeah, and I have a secret location. I lock them down safely that I keep up.
I have some haunted objects.
You three?
Okay.
Well, I mean, haunted objects aren't hard to find. Go to a Salvation Army
Right,
store,
yes,
right? Or
yeah,
go buy
that's my
secondhand.
favorite thing to do.
Or go
thrift
yard
shopping.
sailing.
Yard
Yeah,
sailing.
yard
That's,
sailing.
that's my second
And
nature.
that's my say. We love doing that stuff. So that's a real interesting thing when you have that type of equipment.
Stan, actually, Shane has a bunch of new equipment. Shane, what did you get for the last equipment that you just bought?
So let's see. I got a Tesla coil, which I think is pretty cool. It just kind of supercharges the room.
Yeah.
Um,
My tech guy has one of those.
Yeah, I got a new thermal camera. I got kind of a new thing called a spirit stick. The range on that is pretty.
I just saw that. What is that all about? I just actually saw that online. I don't have one. I'm not going to go run and get one, but I'm just. What does the spirit stick do?
Well, I mean, it's your kind of your REM pod. I mean, it sets off, the emission as far as, but the range on that is, we were kind of playing around with it, but the range on that is at least got to be anywhere between, I think, when I was kind of messing around with like 15 to 20 feet. Because we at the Oliver House, I set it down in the middle of the hallway, just in case that there was any type of motion going back and forth. And the staircase is probably, Stan, what would you say from that spirit stick to the staircase? How many feet was that?
10?
At least 10, but I was walking up the stairs and walking down the stairs, and it was going off.
Yeah.
It was emitting a red light. So either it picked up on vibration, which was cool. That was the first time I had used it. So it picked up on vibration. It also obviously picks up, motion as well as around. So it brights up nice and red. So if you're in another room, you can see it illuminate. In case you're doing something else, you can kind of go over there and see what's going on or whatever the case may be. But I like it. It's pretty cool so far. So.
And anything else new? Those are always fun.
Well, you have plenty of cameras. Lots of cameras.
We also have
We got. Yeah, definitely got cameras. Got the trap pods with the cameras. Stan's got the bell.
The hotel bells.
Yeah.
Yep.
We got a couple of those we throw on the stairs, because what they were telling me at the Olive House, somebody had one about a month ago, and the thing was ringing off all night long. I said, I gotta go. I gotta hear that. But of course, no bites.
No bites.
But you know what? You never know until you try. So.
Right.
Did we mention the SLS?
Oh no, that's right. SLS camera.
Yeah.
We got that.
Those are all.
We have a bunch of motion cameras. So.
Trail cameras, game cameras.
Yep.
Well, game cameras are nice because you just go set those things up and leave.
Absolutely.
And they're much easier to go through than the video because now you're just looking at when the pictures are taken.
Yep, exactly.
Those you can get through a lot quicker.
A lot cheaper too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of small trigger objects, marbles, things like that.
Toys,
Cat toys too.
cat balls.
Cat balls.
Yeah. Candy, cars, pennies. You name it, we got it.
And occasionally the nip.
Yeah, well, you never know. Old school, man. It's they
Some
like
tobacco
to
too will help too. You know.
Tobacco
tobacco.
helps too, yeah. I use tobacco.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
But I would say, I think I would probably say that my favorite piece of equipment, I'm sure that, my other teammates would say that I like the EVP recorder. I mean, basically just give me that and I'm a happy camper.
Totally.
EVP Ghost Box is my favorite.
Yep, same one. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
it.
because you can have conversations with the ghost box.
Yeah.
Love it.
The REM pod, to me, I just got a REM pod. I never used one before because I'm more old school. Shane, you didn't hear this talk earlier. I'm still trying to figure out the REM pod. It's a very interesting. We had a very interesting night with the REM pod at the where we were just at Sandown Meeting House. It was acting really strange going off.
Puts out an electromagnetic field,
Yeah,
and basically spirits can manipulate that.
correct.
So.
But with the way the REM pod was going off compared to like the K2 meter
Okay. Yeah.
was
Off.
off.
On.
Yeah, it didn't really balance out. We're like, okay. Yeah, I just got the REM pod because I use a lot of older equipment, so we just updated the REM pod.
What kind of equipment do you use for the old stuff?
We have the original cell sensors, the original ghost meters. I also have a K2 meter.
Okay.
We also use a Mel meter too.
Yep.
So we do all that. We have 35 millimeter cameras. I use sometimes if it's real good, I'll use film camera.
Oh wow. The Polaroid.
The Polaroid, yeah, and regular 35 millimeter film.
Yeah.
The cameras we use for video. Shane, you'll love this one. They already heard this one. Thousands of feet of cordage, 13 TVs, VCRs, and DVD players.
Old school.
Old school.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's the stuff.
I like to hear it.
Well, old school works.
It does.
It really does.
A lot of the new stuff. It's
It looks cool.
It's cool,
The
but
lights.
you don't really
It's
need
too
all that
techy.
stuff.
Yeah.
You don't really need all that
No.
crazy
No.
equipment.
No, you really don't. I mean, bottom line is, if you think about it, guys, like the human body itself is probably the best piece of paranormal equipment
Definitely.
that you have.
Yeah, people ask that all the time when I do talks at libraries. What's the best piece of equipment? I said,
Yourself.
your brain.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice that all those little toys light up. Beep, beep, beep. They
Yeah.
get annoying after a while.
Yep. They can.
They can. But that doesn't always give you the answers you're looking for.
We used
That's true, too. I mean,
EM pumps too.
depending upon too, as far as like the history of the location, things like that. A lot of times, these spirits and things have no idea what these things are. They, you know,
Pretty
Real
lights.
is this thing gonna blow me up or?
Well, I mean, if you got an old house that dates back to colonial times and it's a colonial spirit, all the way, if someone's here, please light up the. I laugh when when I see this on TV. I bet you guys would too. They got the K2 on the floor, right? Can you please light up the meter if someone's here? Well, they got a colonial ghost from the 1600s.
Yeah.
They've never seen any lights
Right.
except for
I'm
candlelight.
going near that thing.
Yeah, right.
What is this thing on the floor?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
No, and then of course, you got people out there that don't take this serious at all, and that's the problem in the field.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I had this case in Manchester. I love talking about this. I mean, it was on the Tree Street, so a poor part of Manchester, not the most wealthiest part of town, right? So you get to the lady didn't want to call me in from Methuen because she thought we were too far away. So she called another team in from New Hampshire. They found a demon in the house. Ooh. They put the K2 meter on the floor and asked if there was a demon in the house. It lit up. So the guy goes I have this guy that will get rid of the demons, but he costs $2,500.
Oh my god.
Single mother, 6 kids, ages 2 to 13, 14. I hate to tell you, that wasn't happening.
Oh.
Wow.
So they said, to save you for tonight, we're going to put the couch over the demon.
Oh my god.
Wow.
That'll hold them.
That'll It's hard for me to tell the story with a straight face because it's so just outrageous,
Yeah, that's
ridiculous.
BS.
Yeah.
So she calls up. I went back the next night. Me and my former tech guy, we moved. I go, where's the? Oh, it's under here. I'm afraid to move it. No, we're gonna move the couch. I'll put the couch back before we leave. Okay.
Oh.
Move the couch. Put the K2 on the floor. It's lighting up, kind of oddly. So, is there a basement to this house? Because I hadn't gone through it yet. Because she was more concerned about the demon, so we couldn't even do a pre-investigation. She was
So
scared about this demon, right? They put the K2 on the floor. I said, is there a basement? Yeah. So you know those old pull string lights?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay, there was no light there. just the bare
Socket.
wires that weren't
Socket.
even shut. They weren't even capped. Because I said I wanted my guy to hit the floor so I know we're in the basement. So I did that. So I went back upstairs. I said, "Is Santa Claus here?" It lit up. "Is the Tooth Fairy here?" It lit up. Well, because I wanted. It wasn't about showing that we were better.
No.
I needed to
Yes.
Debunk it.
debunk it and lighten up the load because this lady
She
was
was
petrified.
Poor thing, yeah.
So I said, "Let's go to the basement." I said, "There's your demon.
Right.
Call your landlord and get that capped."
Save you $2,500. So, right?
Unbelievable.
Why would that team go right to a question and say, "Okay, is there a demon?" I mean, they couldn't ask something else a little
Like,
later.
is there a child here? Is
Yeah,
there an
absolutely.
adult? Is there a girl
Oh,
here? Is
family
there a boy
member
here?
or something like
really.
that.
Right.
Really?
Yeah. First thing they went to was a demon.
Yep.
Wow.
To the bad stuff.
I mean, that's just
That's wrong.
that's the problem in the field.
They take advantage of people, too.
Yeah,
You know?
total advantage of people. We saw there was paranormal in the house, and I was able to move it out.
Good.
It wasn't that bad. It was a little girl and this older lady that was looking over the kids, but they didn't want it there, so
Uh-huh.
it was time to move them out.
Nothing demonic.
Nothing,
Not even close.
not even close.
Right.
Not even nasty per se. A guy that was nasty or a female.
A naughty little child.
Right,
Right.
exactly. It was nothing. It was nothing at all.
Yeah.
But it's that type of
Yeah.
behavior that really hurts the field. And then you got the people who don't believe, use that as a prime example of why you don't bring paranormal in. And trust me, there are very good teams out there. You guys seem to know what you're doing. But there are teams out there that just out to space.
Oh, yeah.
Doing it for fame sometimes too, and
Well, that's the
you're
other
not
problem.
going to get famous from doing
No, I mean, all the shows are pretty much off the air.
Or everything's paranormal. Every
Right.
single thing that they see is
Well,
paranormal.
actually, they have a paranormal station now. It's called the Travel Channel.
Oh,
Yes.
Right, right.
this. Yep.
Now, I'm going to ask you guys, Shane, do you watch a lot of that paranormal stuff on TV?
Stan's probably smiling.
I'm just shaking my head. You got it, brother.
Oh man, I got to be put on the spot.
Yeah, it's all you, bro.
So yeah, but I mean, there's only one show that I've watched, and I've always, like I said, I've watched them since season 1, episode 1, so it's already grandfathered in. I do follow Ghost Adventures. Yeah, I have the actual tattoo on my leg as well. So I can't lie about that. But yeah, so I've followed Ghost Adventures since season 1, episode 1, and I know a lot of people have, their hearsay, naysay about the team, whatever the case may be. But I mean, everybody is all different. Everybody has different opinions. So the case is,
No, everybody's entitled to them. How about you, Stan? Do you watch any of those shows?
All of them.
All of them.
Yeah, I mean, I watched all of them 3-4 times, so I'm getting bored with them. I need some new stuff.
well, they got Sasquatch stuff on now, so
They got
he's been.
Bigfoot,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Not you?
No, I like to watch the just the ghost ones, like that scare people, but I don't watch the paranormal.
Yeah, I watch some of the stuff. Actually, I've been starting to watch actually the Sasquatch, Bigfoot stuff now, and it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I've always watched
That's
that.
another part of paranormal too.
I used to watch Ghost Hunters. I never got into Ghost Adventures. Okay. I watched Finding Bigfoot.
Yeah.
That was another one of my favorite shows. 'Cause
That's a great show.
I actually interviewed Dina Palzanini when she lived in Rhode Island on one of my shows. So I've had, I've watched that show. Probably the last show I watched faithfully got me very upset when they took it off the air, so I pretty much stopped watching them. And that was The Haunted Collector.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Because
show.
that guy talked what I do, history.
Yep.
Yeah, he took the haunted objects, but you knew the
Yeah.
history of them. You knew why they needed to go.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
What was his name?
John Zaffis.
John-
Yes.
John-
that's what he said.
And actually, I brought John Zaffis to the Tenney Gatehouse in Methuen the same weekend that Hunting in Connecticut had opened up.
Oh, cool.
I had him and Gavin Cromwell, a UK psychic, at the Tenney Gatehouse in Methuen for a fun.
Yeah, I met him. I actually met him one time. He's a really nice guy. I enjoyed having a conversation with him.
Yeah, I didn't like that they took that off the air. It wasn't ratings filled.
Yeah, right.
And then you watch some of the news shows and people go, how come you're not using the equipment like they do on TV?
Can't
Well,
afford it.
Well, no. Well, one, you don't need it. Two, you can't. Some people can't afford it.
Right.
But the other thing is, I was watching one of the shows, and I'm not going to say which one it was. Okay. Now, my tech guy has a natural and an RF tri-field meter, the old school stuff.
Mhm.
Okay. If you find them now online, they're ridiculous.
Oh, huge.
$100.
Okay.
Huge.
So he's got one of those. Now, the best way to use them is you put them on the ground and you set the meter the way you need it.
And you leave it.
And you leave it.
Walk away.
Walk away. One of the shows that was a spin-off of Ghost Hunters had them using one of those like they use a K2 meter. He was holding it like this and moving it. And I watched one episode of that and I said, I'm done.
Yeah.
That is not the way you use equipment. So when people see us using the equipment, they're like, you sure you know what you're doing? Because I saw this.
Right.
Right.
That's the wrong way.
Yeah. Yeah. Those old RF meters and tri-field, you set them,
And forget them.
Again.
put a camera on it,
Yep.
and that's all you do.
Absolutely.
You don't go,
Exactly.
I had my chuckles over that one. So I know you guys are based out of the great city of Peabody.
Yep.
That's a great city.
Seriously.
You went there
Watch
and
it, Shane.
went there and I always picked up my roast beef sandwiches.
Where'd you go?
There's plenty of good ones.
There's a bunch of them. A lot.
Yeah, the one I like to go to is right near the courthouse. I don't know if they still have them in there. in a
That's right
while.
across the street.
Oh,
Next door, yeah.
yeah. So now some people only go so far. They don't want to. So how far do you guys travel for cases?
2 hours.
New England.
Couple hours.
We'll travel 3-4 hours. You know, but
I would travel I would probably travel 6,000 miles,
He'll go
stay in those
there.
through 12 feet of snow. I don't care if it's 50 yards down the street.
He's right.
It's great to have a team member like that.
Yeah. He's ready to go.
He seems to really enjoy what he does,
Not at all.
which is awesome. So 2-3 hours away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4.
Four is probably the limit that we usually go. Well, I would go.
Yeah.
There's plenty of places around here where you don't have to travel halfway across the country.
No, not in this area.
I think the farthest I've driven is close to 8 hours. When I went out and investigated Mid Orange Correctional Facility way out in Warwick, New York, from here where I'm at in Rhode Island.
Warwick,
So-
New York. I never even heard of Warwick, New York. Where's that? Way up
Yeah.
on the border?
So if you Google map it, it's west of New York City. It's kind of out in the Hudson Valley area.
Oh, that's an interesting
Kind of
location.
Yeah,
Big.
so I drove, I don't know, almost 8 hours there to do an overnight and then drove all the way back. So the next day, so it's pretty wiped out when I got back.
Yeah, I bet I would have picked up a hotel room somewhere and slept.
Yeah.
There'd be no way I'd be driving like that. I'd end up off the road. That's a long night. And Hudson, that's another great location because the history out there during the history of this area really started getting affected by what some historians call World War I. Okay. Anyone know what I'm talking about? No.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
World War I was a heavy-duty effect on New England.
No, I didn't even know that.
So let me explain, and no disrespect to my great uncles and your family and everybody's family. Some people call the 30 Years' War, which was King Philip's, King William and Mary, King George's World War I. We were France and England fighting here. Spain was coming up through what's now California in that area. The Dutch were blowing up New York Harbor, and Germany's fighting for their first unification. And they're fighting in England and France. So what do you really got? And you're fighting in Canada. And the Hudson River Valley was the major source in the Canada. So there's a lot of battles that took place. The land out there, even though you're in an old prison, I'm betting that land had older energy than just a prison on it.
Makes sense.
And a lot of these small towns in around Essex County and the North Shore all had attacks during that time frame. You know. So how many times you get this call, you guys? I want you to answer this one. We got a brand new house and I don't know why it's haunted.
God. They don't know what the creaks and the cracks and the pipes that, making noises and
Let it breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let it settle.
Well, the other thing is too is what was there before the new house.
Totally.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to say that kind of reminded me of just watch the old movie Poltergeist.
Yeah. What was there beforehand? Oh, well, we bought it. It was all woods. Okay. That's good. That means for the last 50 years, there was nothing there. So trees and Mother Nature recouped the area.
Right.
What was there before that, though?
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, that's always interesting here in New England. I always love getting those.
Well, that too, and I think that to touch on that real quick, I think with like the history of a location per se, like if you put a brand new home in a spot, acreage, whatever the case may be, like you said before, something might have happened there in the past, whether there was bloodshed, whatever. So there's like a theory called stone tape theory where certain objects collect as memories, and based on certain circumstances, they can just kind of replay itself. So that's another thing kind of in the paranormal field that people tend to talk about is a stone tape theory, which I believe in, just giving an example where somebody was murdered in a bedroom in a house that was built, say it happened in 1889, right?
Yeah.
And that original flooring's still there. So if that person had passed or was unalived up in that room, say there was some blood that maybe might have leaked onto the floor, those floorboards still contain memories of that particular incident. And I think that those sometimes can replay.
That makes
And
sense.
if you kind of read into it, it's called the stone tape theory.
Oh.
And it does make a lot of sense.
A lot of people that actually buy houses, renovate houses.
Yeah.
They'll knock down kitchens or walls and stuff, and then all of a sudden stuff will start happening then, and they'll be like, what's going on? All of a sudden, I
Right.
knocked down this wall, I changed this whole app. What do you think happened? Obviously, people that spirits obviously didn't like what you did.
Right. Well, the other thing is we're in New England, right? And you guys have probably investigated one of the hardest. Two things to me are very hard to investigate. A condo complex where you have like
Oh,
5 or 6, people in the same, they get their own space. But yeah. And the second thing are the triple deckers.
Yeah.
You can't.
Unless the house is totally empty.
Right.
And that's very rare.
Very rare. So you get a triple decker. It was a triple decker when your parents or grandparents were alive and your great grandparents. Today it's a 12-room apartment place.
right.
They took the old decks out and put bedrooms.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
well, Tom, how come the spirit walks through that wall? Well,
It wasn't
probably
there
when that
before.
spirit was alive, there was a door there that went into the living room.
Right.
Now it's a wall because somebody else is living on the other side.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
They were there first.
It makes it real hard to investigate those places.
Even restaurants or hotels. I mean, you don't know what's in all the rooms. People playing TVs and music and people walking around their rows, the restaurants. Unless it's totally empty and there's nobody in the building, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, where the rats and mice in the basement, of course, but, it has to be totally empty. Otherwise, throw out happy evidence.
Exactly. I mean, that makes it real hard.
Yeah.
Real hard. Restaurants, I've been in a few years. You go there at like 1 in the morning after they close.
That's time to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, no question.
We had a restaurant years and years ago up at Lake Winnipesaukee.
Oh,
And a friend of mine called me up at the time. She was a friend of mine. He goes, Tom, I closed this thing at back. It's back. And she closed things. It was closed.
Yep.
Okay.
Where is that located?
Lake Winnipesaukee. Right across. The restaurant's no longer there. I forgot the name of the restaurant now. But it's right across from the boat.
he's from Florida. He doesn't know.
So Lake Winnipesaukee's up in New Hampshire. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So went up there.
That's okay.
So we went the Monday before Christmas, and it was a total ice storm. All the way up to Lake Winnipesaukee.
Yeah, 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, somebody else drove me because I don't like that weather at all. So we went up there. We waited till 2 o'clock to get there. So we went in till the nighttime. They closed it after 2. They actually fed us.
Good deal.
I said, so what's going on here? The manager got me upset. So they had this doorbell. The cooks would ring the doorbell. 1 for waitress, 2 rings for waitress. How many waitresses on. So some spirit like to play with the doorbell. There was something nasty in there. The lady got rid of everything. Cleared out the place. They decided they wanted the guy with the doorbell back. Well, they got the guy with the doorbell back, but they also brought in a few other things.
Yeah.
So I told her, we will never come back here again. We're going to clean it up this time, but I'm not coming back
The
again.
rest is on you.
And this is an ice storm. None of us in the field get paid. It's a hobby. I don't mind doing this, but you got to respect people. So
Absolutely.
yeah, we cleansed the place again and never had to go back. We get rid of the spirit that was it. She goes, I don't understand what happened. I opened up the store to just let one spirit in. I said, that's like you opening up the door, people using Ouija boards because they want to contact their deceased parents, aunts, uncles. You might get them, but you might get something that's hiding themselves as your deceased relative. And now you might get grandma, but there's something around that corner that slips in as grandma's talking, and it may not be something nice.
Be careful what you ask for.
Right. That's why we tell people do not use. What's your opinion on Ouija boards? Every team has a different opinion.
I don't do them. No.
I honestly don't mind.
Oh, okay.
I currently, well, let's see. Let me count real quick. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have, so currently the room that I sleep in, I sleep with like 6 Ouija boards around me.
Okay.
Whether they're hanging up on the wall. I'm just a fan of just the history of the Ouija and, just the spiritual aspect of it. But yes, it's all about intent. It's all about how you properly use it and how you properly open it and how you properly close it. But you are correct, sir, as far as, if you're going to make a long distance phone call, you're going to have that phone wide open and something or someone or something can just pick that phone call up on the other end and you have no idea what you're dealing with.
No, you're right about that. That's why, in fact, I have a collection of Ouija boards. Let me explain though. Those are the ones I've taken out of people's homes and locked down because people use them the wrong way.
Absolutely.
I have 3 of them now.
Have you ever gotten back where you put those? Like the hitchhiker effect? You ever hear that?
Yeah, no. I usually do pretty well locking that stuff.
That's good.
Safely away. It's all under glass. It's under lock and key.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
It's at a secret location away from my residence where I live. And I have a lot of objects. Sometimes I'll bring them out for people. Now, let me explain. The objects I'll bring out, you go to, there was a house in Mcdermott I did. He goes, I want this painting gone. It's creepy. There wasn't nothing really attached. Was it creepy? Yeah. So I do the 1 to 5 thing. 1 meaning it's nothing, and 5 meaning it's demonic or real bad. If it's a 1 and it's locked away, you know it's safe. I'll take that out and use that as a talking point when I do my therapy.
Sure.
But if it's a 5 or worse, no, don't come out anywhere.
Leave it be.
Leave it be. In fact, I did a house in Amesbury once where we actually caught it pudge lucky, which is kind of weird. Out this way north, okay. And she goes, I don't know what started this, but I picked this Fender guitar up off the street on trash day. Now, not many people will throw a Fender guitar away. If it's in the trash,
Right.
For a reason.
there's a reason. Considering all the strings were good on it, nothing was broken on it. There's a reason why that Fender guitar was in the trash. I ended up with it.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
And none of my team members wanted to drive back with me that night.
Wonder why.
And Amesbury to Methuen is not that far.
No.
It's right down the road. So.
Do you have any divot boxes?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Not
Working
yet.
on it.
Working on it then.
Well, you never know when that's going to come
Yeah.
up.
Right.
But I mean, my goal, though, like you guys, we just do it differently, is to make sure the client, your clients, are safe.
Right.
Totally.
At the end of the night, it's about the client.
If we leave, they stay.
Right,
That's
exactly.
right.
That's what I tell people all the time. I'm leaving your house at some time during the nighttime. It might
You're
not
not.
be. It might not be at 10, 11 o'clock. It might be 1, 2 in the morning. But I'm leaving your house, and
Yep. Deal with that.
then you guys have
The aftermath.
the aftermath of the whole thing. That's why I sage out the house automatically.
Yeah. Good idea.
Or hit it with holy water, depending on what. And I've always been a believer. I know about you guys. have you tried stuff that when you cleanse out a house, you really got to know your client, correct?
You have to.
Because if they're not Catholic, holy water would be just like
Water.
Well, exactly.
getting this cup of
Some
water and goes
Pepsi
like,
on 'em.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That doesn't work out too well.
I actually asked them what they
Faith.
believe in, what
Yeah.
faith they believe in. If they don't mind asking first at the beginning. We ask a bunch of questions we have before we go investigating. So it's important, I think, to know what's going on in their mind too. You know what they're thinking about and what's going on in the whole situation. You know?
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, because like I said, if they're not Catholic, holy water's not going to work. The cross isn't going to work.
No.
Nothing's. You got to find what they are.
Plus, if they're doing satanic rituals or witchcraft, obviously that's going to bring up some more stuff, you know.
So this one, we can go over a little bit. It doesn't matter if you guys don't mind.
No.
This is you just brought up satanic and witchcraft, right?
Yeah.
I forgot what year this was, but I get a call on Easter weekend, Holy Saturday night,
There it is.
to a condo complex in my hometown of Mcdermott. So it's not that far away. So we get there. It's a blended family.
Okay.
All right. So the wife is studying to be a high priestess in witchcraft.
Mhm.
And the husband is practicing satanic cult rituals.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh,
You
the
wanna-
mix of those two trying to learn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you should have seen the excitement my psychics were having in that place.
Wait, you said that this was on Easter,
Easter weekend. Yeah, Holy Saturday.
That's
would be
even
called.
worse.
and you said that the lady was practicing. She was practicing to become a high priestess.
Yeah, no, Wiccan.
Priestess.
High priestess in the Wiccan religion, yes.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, because that makes kind of sense. Because I think in the Wiccan religion, don't quote me, I might not be right on this, but I think in the Wiccan or that type of religion, Easter is considered some sort of a,
Holiday.
I think a pagan holiday.
It
Yeah.
is a pain.
Yeah.
Just like I think with Easter, I think Christmas as well.
It's actually
Like I'm not the pro or the expert,
Yeah. That's
so some of these holidays are celebrated, I guess, differently amongst other whatever kind of religion, I guess, that you speak, so to speak. So that's probably, it just kind of was like, wait a minute, Easter, she was practicing to become a high priestess. So, I don't know.
Well, it takes a long time to become a high priestess. That takes many, many, many years.
And then you got the other half studying the total opposite.
Going the other way.
Yeah,
And they
don't
couldn't
know.
figure out why the kids were getting attacked.
Wow.
I wonder if they're divorced now.
I don't know. They actually left Bethune. They left the area. I don't know where they ended up going. I told both of them, you're going to come to a middle because
Yeah.
you're creating this type of energy, and they're going after the kids. I saved the place out. We hit it with holy water. We hit it with everything.
Everything.
I called her the next day on Easter, later in the day. She said everything was calm at the house. I called her about a month later. She goes, yeah, we moved out.
Wow.
Where'd they go? Salem?
They didn't say where they went. They just moved.
Salem's
To go to Salem.
No matter where you go with that type of mix of
Oh, yeah,
energy,
that's too
You're
much
bringing
of
it
a
with you.
mix. Yeah.
that's not a good energy.
No, it's not mixed.
Not mixed like that.
No.
I hope you guys never come across a case like that
We don't either.
because that's a lot of
Yeah.
in the head.
No,
Forget
it
the
is.
equipment. You can leave the equipment at home for that stuff because it's pretty obvious what's going on.
Totally.
Well, I'll deal with the magic stuff. I have no problem doing
Right.
any of that kind of stuff and the Wiccan witch stuff. But as far as Satanism,
She does card reading too.
Oh, okay. So you do card readings.
yeah, I do all kinds of stuff. I have many herbs that I work with.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
So you have a store somewhere, or just
I used to
Oh,
used to
you
go around. Then I ended up getting another job that consumed me for a little while. So, but I'm getting back into my
well, that happens
yeah,
sometimes.
it does.
Now you can start going on weekends to different events.
What is
Yeah.
that you did for my back that you helped me with my back, the energy thing?
I'm a Reiki master as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It works.
It works for me.
I'm actually gonna. You'll laugh at this one, but I'm actually probably once things slow down over January and February, I'm actually gonna take a Reiki classes.
I think that's a
Or
great
Reiki.
idea.
It helped me. I'm telling you, my back was killing me.
I know a lot of guys probably don't take Reiki, but what I'm seeing out there, I think it's important.
It is important. It's very important. I would suggest looking into Qigong as well, because that's where it actually all originates from. So,
Yeah, right. Well, you know what? We've come to an end of a great episode.
Oh.
Okay? You
Yeah.
guys. So
I had a lot of fun.
if somebody wants to get a hold of you guys, how do they get a hold of you?
Well, we have an email address, right?
Yeah.
You can reach us at deadtimespirits@gmail.com, or you can reach us on Facebook under Deadtime Paranormal Society. And you can just message us through there, or you can send us an email either way. And we'll get to you as soon as possible.
All righty. So if anybody's out there listening and needs some help, give them a call. They're a great team, great bunch of people. I want to thank you guys for coming on. I want to thank you, Shane, from all the way from Rhode Island.
It's been a pleasure, my friend. It was a lot of fun.
We'll have you back on soon because this was a great episode. It really was. And as soon as this gets sent out, I'll send it out to all you guys. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight from anywhere from Europe to Southeast Asia to New York, California, Canada, wherever you're out in the world. Thanks for tuning in. I'm heading back to my crypt, but a quick reminder, tomorrow night, Hilldale Cemetery, 7 o'clock. It's the last paranormal event of the year at Hilldale because the weather's changing. It's getting too cold. But hopefully we'll see you all out there. I want to thank you. I'm heading back to my crypt. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.